When we hear the term human development, the first thing that comes to mind is the image of a fetus developing inside the womb. This association, however, is not necessarily false, as humans do develop rapidly during the first 9 months of its existence. However, have you ever asked yourself, does human development end there? Does it stop after birth? If so, then how do we explain children growing up to maturity after birth? Furthermore, if development doesn't end in the womb, then where does it end? Is it continuous? And most of all, what do we really know about human development? To answer this question, just look around us. The people we meet, those we interact with and see every day, belongs and takes part in this process called human development. Every time we change physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially, or stay this way over time, we are indeed, in a sense, developing as humans. The earlier example of the fetal development is a type of physical development. Other forms, like in the cognitive level, are not as easy to understand due to the rather abstract nature. Oftentimes, this lack of understanding leads to misunderstandings, as in the case of parents who have difficulty relating to their children. According to renowned psychologist Jean Piaget, this doesn't mean that either of the two is inferior, but that we are different from one another and that there is indeed an ongoing development. According to Piaget's theory of cognitive development, humans develop cognitively in 4 specific stages in their life, the first of which is the sensory motor stage, which lasts from birth to about 2 years of age. This is the time where babies initially explore their world using their senses. This explains why whenever we see infants, they are always sucking or chewing something. They are indeed trying to feel and explore the world around them, using body parts which are most sensitive to touch, such as the palms and the lips. Parents misguidedly interpret this as a sign of hunger and immediately give food or milk to the child, then get mad when the child refuses to drink or eat it. Again, children, especially infants, suck things for the purpose of exploring, so they can further improve their mental image of the world. With a better understanding of this concept, grown-ups will be more equipped in their parenting duties by not hindering the discovery process, but rather making sure that the environment is a safe and conducive place for learning. Being exposed to infants would allow you to notice that these little people are generally very observant, especially during their first few weeks. They try to study everything, including their hands and feet. This is due to the fact that infants at this stage have not yet realized the difference between them and their environment. According to psychologists, it takes a while before infants learn that they are a separate entity from their surroundings and that they can actually order their body to move as they wish. Upon realization, there occurs a sudden change in their behavior and they become very active and playful. Another very notable difference in children at this stage is their failure to understand that objects will continue to exist even when they are not visible, or as psychologists call it, object permanence. Have you ever wondered why young children are so fond of the game Peek-a-Boo? The reason behind this is that children at this stage has not yet developed their thinking skills enough to realize that the face is just behind the hand. No wonder they are so amazed at the sudden appearance of the adult face. The second, which occurs between 2 to 6 years of age, is the pre-operational stage. Language development is one of the hallmarks of this period. Piaget noted that children in this stage who yet understand concrete logic, cannot mentally manipulate information, and are unable to take the point of view of other people, which he termed egocentrism. During the pre-operational stage, children also become increasingly adept at the use of symbols, as evidenced by the increase in playing and pretending. From the time they are able to speak to about 6 to 7 years of age, children display pre-operational reasoning. This is the time wherein children develop representational skills to use symbols. According to Piaget, language is not possible until children are capable of symbolic thought. We must first understand that one thing can stand for another before we can use words to represent objects, events, and relationships. During this stage, children become capable of using language and mental imagery, as well as think about past and future events. Then comes animism, which is the tendency to believe that all objects, animals, and things are alive. Another is the inability to conserve. Two children may be given the exact same amount of chocolates and candies in varying shapes and sizes. When you give them the goodies, it is inside a paper bag. Then you ask them to pour everything on the floor. The pre-operational child will not understand that the amount of goodies are the same and will believe that because the shapes of her playmates' candies are different and appear to be larger, the other kid has more. Also, children in the pre-operational stage lack the understanding of the concept of reversibility. They do not realize that an action can be done and then undone. For example, a child may be able to put on his clothes but cannot remove it afterwards. At the stage of concrete operational, the child would have most likely overcome the limitations of the pre-operational stage, wherein they are more inclined to look at the symbolic meaning of things. And by now, they have become more focused on the concrete characteristics of objects in their environment. These abilities help them cope up with the rigors of school, as it is also during this age that they start their primary education. A child may, for example, be able to compare measurements of the objects. They also become more logical, as they are now able to classify objects into groups and think in terms of cause and effect relationships. One of the limitations of children at this stage, however, is that they put too much emphasis on the concrete aspects of the things around them, so much so that they are not able to distinguish reality from play and make-believe. In a sense, we can say that this is a kind of to see is to believe stage in cognitive development. Even if you try convincing a kid that magicians don't really have superpowers but merely use tricks, it would not lessen their amazement. And last, which is considered to be the highest stage of cognitive development, is the formal operational. This occurs at the age of 11 and onwards. It is the stage wherein they begin to reason logically, starting from a premise to drawing conclusions. They start to test hypotheses and solve problems systematically. They start to think of various possibilities that will affect their future. People begin to take serious interest in abstract concepts such as love, political ideology, spirituality, and the like. It is also at this stage that many parents are bewildered to find their teenagers reasoning out with them or questioning their rules and beliefs.
Oh shucks.
Do you know what time it is? It's already 11:30.
Dad, this is 11:30.
Just 11:30. We have mass 7 o'clock in the morning. You don't text. You don't call. You just go off with your friends. You don't even tell me. You don't even tell me where you're going. You know, I'm worried sick over here.
Dad, you're exaggerating things, you know.
Exaggerating? How am I supposed to know the place you're going is safe?
It's safe. See, I'm home. I'm home safe. I'm home in one piece. Why do you have to make such a fuss out of it?
But did you know that not all adolescents undergo the formal operational stage? Okay, Javi, since you're already 19 years old, I assume that you can solve this problem using the M-DAS rule. See what I mean? Okay, Javi, you can stop now. It has been suggested that cultural experiences and formal schooling contribute greatly to this exception. Basing our answer on Piaget's theory, we therefore conclude that human development is an ongoing process that continues as we acquire new skills and learn new things throughout our life.